Mr. Speaker, I move to the next subject. Jamaicans want new and better opportunities to improve the quality of their life. I will now outline how we intend to create better opportunities through a new deal for our workers, greater care of persons with disabilities, a focus on support for senior citizens, building of measures to support MSMEs that were announced by our spokesperson for Finance last Thursday. I move to the workers of Jamaica. Mr. Speaker, as I think many know, this is the 100th anniversary of the birth of former Prime Minister Michael Manley. Himself a former Labour leader. It is also the 50th anniversary of the establishment of the Industrial Disputes Tribunal under 1975 under his government. It gives access to justice to the workers of Jamaica. Time come to once again move the agenda forward for our workers. Mr. Speaker, contract work is too often used as a loophole which denies workers the basic set of rights and benefits to which they are intended to be entitled under Jamaican law. Some forms of contract work are legitimate and proper, but too often it is used as a way of getting around the architecture of benefits that workers are supposed to enjoy in this country. The abuse of contract work must be brought to an end. This government has merely begun to tinker with the problem in sections of the public sector, but has totally ignored the problem in the wider economy. The next PNP government will pass comprehensive legislation to eliminate abusive contractual arrangements which deny workers their basic employment rights. We will ensure the equal treatment of all genuine workers, regardless of the legal forms their contracts may take. While our guide on the specific measures to be followed will be the International Labour Organization, the ILO Recommendation 166 of 1982, we will first go through a fulsome process of consultation with employer groups, our unions, our sectoral groups, and other key stakeholders before we finalize the legislation. At the same time, we will take a balanced approach, encouraging employers to regularize their employment contracts. And how do we do that? Under the Portia Simpson Miller administration, a tax incentive called the Employment Tax Credit, ETC, was introduced. The ETC has proven to be a significant win-win for the government, for businesses, for workers, and the broader economy. It has led to the formalization of more workers as employees, granting access to rights and benefits that previously they didn't have, such as participation in NHT and NIS, formal employment status so they can open bank accounts, and eligibility for loans from regulated lending institutions. The ETC incentive has also boosted corporate tax compliance, business compliance, resulting in substantial increases in government revenue. Currently, the ETC is capped at 30% of the tax charged on the company's or traders' trading income. As we seek to eliminate the practice of using contract work to exclude from the rights and benefits that exclude workers from their rights and benefits that formalized employees enjoy, I propose increasing the ETC to 40% of the tax chargeable. This will provide an even stronger incentive to employers to formalize the employment of their workers and provide balance in our quest to ensure fair and equitable employment practices across the board. Mr. Speaker, the system of minimum wage in Jamaica is also in need of an overhaul. Yes. No worker should be earning a wage which is below the cost of a basic, decent daily life. In our first year in office, I will task the Planning Institute of Jamaica, the PIOJ, to provide its insights and its research regarding shifting from a minimum wage system to a livable wage system. One which is tied to the actual cost of living and is renewed annually to account for accumulated inflation over the preceding year. The benefits, Mr. Speaker, of families earning a livable wage and living above the poverty line will outweigh any temporary effects on the employment market. And we have seen that repeatedly where people have said increases in the minimum wage, significant increases can't be done because it's going to result in displacement of employment and so on. And the thing settles down shortly thereafter and living standards are raised at the bottom of the society, which is so important. Mr. Speaker, I move to the whole question of worker representation. Some of the industries which are the largest employers of workers in the country are characterized by a lack of worker representation. We are mindful of the series of strikes in the hotel sector last year, for example, when hotel workers took to the streets to seek redress for what they described as low pay and unacceptable working conditions. Mr. Speaker, we will pursue the establishment of joint industrial councils in those industries where there are high levels of employment, but no common minimum standards for the sector, for working conditions, and no union representation. A joint industrial council is a mechanism facilitated by the state that brings employers and employees together to negotiate and settle basic standards relating to pay and conditions of work in that sector. Precedent for it exists. For example, it has been used in the construction industry in Jamaica for many years. The sense of security, fairness, and dignity that this will bring employees in these sectors will promote harmony and stability at the workplace and increase the workers' productivity and their efficiency.